Back in the 1890s, the United States Postal Service adopted a mutt from Albany, New York as its unofficial mascot. The lucky pooch was Owney, a mailbag-loving free spirit who traveled the entire United States during a time when few people ever left the place they were born. Railroads were changing the landscape of North America, and they provided Owney with a ticket across the country. Owney also traveled internationally. He visited Mexico and Canada. He was actually arrested in Montreal once when they thought he was an illegal traveler. Albany postal workers had to post his bail to get him home. Then, in 1895, Owney actually made a trip around the world. The Jules Verne book, Around the World in 80 Days, was inspiring adventurers to circumnavigate the Earth. So, as a publicity stunt for the US Postal Service, Owney embarked from the Pacific Northwest on a similar journey, visiting Japan, China, Singapore, and Northern Africa before returning home aboard a steamer ship. After this trip, Owney slowed down a bit, but he continued to travel the US rails almost up until his death in 1897. A taxidermist preserved the beloved pooch, and today the stuffed Owney lives in the Postal Museum in Washington, D.C. The story of a dog going around the world is enough to capture the imagination. But what if Owney had made some unexpected detours during his travels abroad and had some exciting adventures around the world? Owney was always going his own way, so it wouldn't be altogether surprising. Imagine him not just stopping in Japan and China, but crossing India, the Middle East, and Europe on his own before sailing back to the States. He would have had a chance to see a world very few people saw at that time. He might have befriended postal workers of distant countries or met famous contemporaries like the Lumiere brothers in Paris, for instance. And that's how the secret around-the-world adventures of Owney the Postal Dog was born.